What's up, guys? Today we are here working on the Porsche. Mason, Porsche. And what are we doing today?
So today we're throwing these big old GT3 sway bars on this beautiful non-GT3 car.
Hopefully give it some better handling and make it a little more fun to drive.
Because there's no way to jack it up and then put a jack stand underneath.
So I didn't record quick enough, but he's saying if you get a Porsche,
Definitely get a lift, kind of like that one over there.
just it's occupied today, but that's okay because we've got jacks. So you will need a T25 to take off the
There's going to be 9 little fasteners holding up this splash guard on the bottom, and then after you get that off, that's when all the fun begins.
Haven't noticed, there is no Austin with us today. He's with us in spirit, and hopefully that's enough to get us through the job. But he's in Colorado, and me and Mason decided we should try to do a video while he's gone and keep putting some content on the channel. So hopefully today goes well and we get these sway bars on. We can go for a test drive after, talk about it, and see if it's worth it.
Okay, so now that we got that pan off, we're gonna come back all the way to these cross bars. I'm gonna have to take these 2 off. That way we can get to this subframe support bar. Take this one all the way, take this one out. And then we'll go back to these 2. And we'll just drop those down a little bit, and it'll support the cross frame probably around here. That way it doesn't cause back there to start cracking, because I'm sure it's not the cheapest part to replace.
So we are just trying to get the end link off here, so we can start getting the sway bar out and hopefully on to the next part. How you feeling, Mason?
Oh, well, I was feeling optimistic. Still kind of am, but apprehensive at this point.
We got the end links out on both sides. See, just kind of hang there. Now we've got to drop the...
Gotta drop this H-frame, drop these 2 without removing them.
So just
And then we
crack
gotta
those a
pull
little
out
bit.
these 2 fronts. This middle one right here is actually going to bolt right up into part of your suspension, so we can't leave that one in.
So you're gonna want to grab yourself an 18
Probably an impact gun as well.
and an impact if you can,
Or a breaker bar.
or just hit the gym before you try to do it.
Hey. Get you a big old beefy man like Casey to do it for you.
You don't want that. Well, we tried to get it off with just the wrench, but we have a jack handle to help. So we already did the other side, but you're going to take your handle and it's going to give you plenty of torque to get this bolt off. That bolt that we're getting off right now is 120 pounds of torque. I tried to get it with the wrench, so did Mason, but you know what, sometimes it's okay to use tools to your advantage. Look, first try, no breaker bar,
And we're good to go.
we didn't even need a cheat. So we've loosened this bolt right here, and this is the one that you're going to keep in so you can pivot the front section down. And once we get that, we can support it with, so you can use a tire, you can use another jack, but you just want to make sure you're not letting that drop all the way down and hang on the hardware. But we've got what, two more bolts to get out?
Two more to break, and then actually just pull everything out. And then should be pulling that sway bar.
Yeah, we'll show you what that looks like here in a second. Okay, so if you got a spare Can-Am laying around, take the tire off. Just kidding, it's not our Can-Am, but we're just using a tire and a piece of wood to support these support braces. We're supporting the support. We just got to get enough room so we can slide the sway bar, that guy right there, out between that gap right here. Sorry, this camera's new to me, so I'm still working on figuring out how to get the angles. Okay, so gotta loosen this plate, take these two bolts out. You're gonna have to back it up with a 15, and then there is your bushing right there. As you can see, now that sway bar can move freely, so now we just got to work it out around all this. So we are getting there. As you can see, we've got the sway bar almost out. We've just got to get a couple more, probably like a ½ inch more clearance to clear the body right here. We're gonna try to drop the back of the frame and see if we can lower it just enough to where we can get it out. So we got it out. As you can see here, there's a lot more adjustment on this one, and it's a thicker bar. But overall, that's what we're replacing. Just gives us a chance to fine tune the sway bars. So a couple things happened since that last clip. We totally forgot to record us putting it back in. We were just focused on trying to get it in a timely manner without damaging the H-frame. We didn't want to leave the weight hanging on it too long. And after that, we found out that the end links, the drop links that were on the car for the front were not the right length. So if you are buying aftermarket sway bars, I would definitely recommend just making sure you have everything that you need before you take it out.
Alright guys, so we went ahead and did the other side, the passenger side, just because all the snags we hit yesterday, we want to make sure we knew what was going on today. So for this, we're going to try leaving on that heat shield, this little support beam as well. And we got our rear sway bar right here. You got two, size 13s. And we got a size 16 right here for the end link. Pop that off, and I'm going to try to take it out without doing any extra work today. Well guys, tears of joy and tears of pain. She slid right out. So 20 minutes of work today compared to what, 24, not 24, 5 hours. Yeah, 5 hours altogether pulling and putting everything back for the front. So, oh, there she is. Well guys, we got her all in on probably medium setting as far as the sway bars go. Something a little more aggressive than stock, but nothing too crazy. All in all, took maybe an hour by the time we get both wheels put back on. A hell of a lot easier than yesterday, that's for sure. All right guys, we're back for the final day, day 3 of 3. Trying to get this on the proper sway bars. Parts just came in today. and fresh after work, Mr. High Vis himself. So we just gotta jack it up again. We're gonna pull off both wheels. We're gonna slap them babies on there. But well, let's get started. All right, guys. So small issue. Who knows? Maybe we're just not doing it right. But so this bolt right here, there's not an actual spot where that little dot is to back the bolt while you're loosening it. And so, kind of like how this one, you've got a little T25 to hold the screw or the bolt. That one doesn't have it. So we're running into the issue of trying to loosen that without just free spinning. So we'll get back to y'all when we figure that out. Well, update, we got it off. Throughout this whole process, I think we've all come to realize the best tool to have in your garage is just Casey.
No.
No? A quick side-by-side comparison to the new drop links brought to you by Terra Engineering. And then you got these
and thick.
Short and thick. Okay.
This message is brought to you by Octane Media.
All right, guys. Well, we got both of them on. Quick note. So with the Terra, these will become 19s for the tops. Down here will be a 17 and a 15 on the back. And stock, both of these will just be 18s. And then I don't really remember for the bottom. Probably, I want to say they were 17s or 18s as well. Right here, that's going to be your factory setting as far as this sway bar goes. It'll be the closest to just a stock 987 Cayman. Then we're going for this middle hole and give us the best stiffening that will actually be helpful on like daily driving and just going through the canyon. This last hole I'd probably only recommend if you're planning on tracking the car. It's going to tighten it up a whole lot more and possibly cause you to slide a whole lot more if you're not careful. So all right, guys, so it's been about 24 hours since we installed the sway bars, and I can honestly say it wasn't necessarily needed, but it makes the driving experience a lot more enjoyable as far as just taking turns, feeling like you're actually playing into the road instead of kind of feeling that body roll a little bit every time you turn left, right, whatever the case may be. And not something I would recommend if your drive to work or if it's your daily and it's just a bunch of straight lines with maybe a turn here or there. But where with this car, I like to take it up into the mountains, go through the canyons, send it around every single corner. I think this is definitely a worthwhile upgrade.